Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Genesis 45 to 50, Exodus 1 to 4, Proverbs 24, and Psalm 16. So Israel took his journey with all they had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifice to God his father. And God spoke to Israel in visions of the night and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt. And there I will make you into a great nation. I myself will go down with you to Egypt. I will also bring you up again. And Joseph him shall close your eyes. And Jacob set off from Beersheba. Sons of Israel sent Jacob to their father, their Lord, and their wives and their wives, and Pharaoh had sent to carry. They sent over their livestock and their goods, which they gained in land and Canaan, and came to Egypt. Jacob was offspring with him, his sons and sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters. All his offspring he brought with him into Egypt. Now these are the names of his sons Israel. And came into Egypt. Jacob and his sons Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and his sons Reuben, Hanoch, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. The sons of Simeon, Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shul. The sons of Canaan, and the sons of Levi. Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Judah, Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamel. The sons of Isaac, Tola, Puva, Yob, and Shema. The sons of Zebulun, Sered, Elah, and Jonah. These are the sons of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob and Paddan. And together with his daughter Dinah, altogether his sons and his daughters numbered 33. The sons of Gad, Ziphiah, Haggai, Shini, Esben, Eri, Aradi, and Alan. And Ashna, Ishvi, Beri, Sarah, their sister. The sons of Beri, Heb, and Malkiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, and Laban gave to Leah's daughter, and these she bore to Jacob 16 persons. The sons of Rachel were Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And to Joseph and Leonard Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, with whom Asenath the daughter of Potiphar, and a priest on board to him. The sons of Benjamin, Bela, Becca, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Muppim, Huppim, and Arad. These are the sons of Rachel, who were born to Jacob, 14 persons in all. The sons of Dan, Hushim, the sons of Naphtali, Jaziel, Guni, Jezza, and Shilon. These are the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to Rachel his daughter. And these she brought to Jacob, 7 persons in all. All the persons born to Jacob who came to Egypt, who were his own descendants, not including Jacob's sons' wives, were 66 persons in all. And the sons of Joseph who were born to Ninja were 2. All the persons of the house of Jacob came to Egypt were 70. He sent Judah ahead of him to Joseph to show the way for him in Goshen. When they came to land in Goshen, and Joseph prepared his chariot and went up to meet Israel's father in Goshen. He presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck and did well. Israel said to Joseph, Let me die, since I have seen your face and know that you are still alive. And Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's house, Go up and tell Pharaoh, and I will say to him, My brothers and my father's house are in the land of Canaan. And have come to me, and the men are shepherds, so they may keep his livestock, and they brought their flocks and herds and all that they have. And Pharaoh calls you and says, What is your occupation? You shall say, Your servants have been keepers of livestock, and my youth even until now, both me and our fathers, in order that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. And Joseph went and told Pharaoh, My father and my brothers, with their flocks and herds and all that they possess, have come from the land of Canaan. They are now in the land of Canaan. Goshen, and among his brothers he took 5 men and presented to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to his brothers, What is your occupation? And they said, said to Pharaoh, Your servants are shepherds, as our fathers were. He said to Pharaoh, We have come to sojourn in the land, for there is no pasture for your servants' flocks. The famine is severe in the land of Canaan, and now please let me stand still in the land of Goshen. And he said to Joseph, Your father and your brothers have come to you, the land of Egypt is before you. They are your father and your brothers in the best land. Let them settle in the land of Goshen. If you know any able men among them, put them in charge of my livestock. And then Joseph brought in Jacob's father and stayed him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said to Jacob, How many days did you use of your life? And Jacob said to Pharaoh, The days that you used of my sojourn are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life, and they have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my father. In the days of their sojourn, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh and brought him down from the presence of Pharaoh. And Joseph sent his father and his brothers and gave them ammunition and the land of Egypt. And they blessed in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh commanded. And Joseph provided his father's brothers and all his father's household with food according to the number of their dependents. And there was no food in all the land, for the famine was very severe, so that the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan languished by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan, in exchange for the grain that they bought. And Joseph brought the money to Pharaoh's house. And the money was all spent in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan. All the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, Give us food. Why should we die poor your eyes, for our money is gone? And Joseph answered, Give me your livestock, and I'll give you food in exchange for your livestock, if your money is gone. So they brought their livestock to Joseph. And Joseph gave them food in exchange for their horses, the flocks, their heads, and donkeys. He supplied them with food in exchange for all their livestock heads. And livestock in a year. And that year was ended. They came to him the following year and said to him, Do not harm from my lord that our money is all spent. The heads of our livestock are not my lord's. There is nothing left in the sight of my lord, but our lord is in our land. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and the land? And I asked in our land for food, and we with our lands will be servant to Pharaoh. and give us seed that we may live, not die, the land may not be desolate. Joseph brought all the land in Egypt fair. All the Egyptians saw their fields because the famine was severe on them. And the land became fair, as for the people, he made servants of them from one end of Egypt to the other. And in the land of the priests he did not buy, for the priests had fixed the land unfair, and lived on the lands that Pharaoh gave them, therefore they did not sell the land. And Joseph said to the people, Behold, I have this day brought you and your land a fair, and I hear seed for you, and you shall sow the land. And at the harvest you shall give a fifth to Pharaoh, and 4/5 shall be a seed for the field, as food for yourselves and your households, and food for your little ones. And he said, You say to our lives, May I place my Lord, that we will be servants to Pharaoh. So Joseph made a statute concerning the land in Egypt. It stands to this day that Pharaoh should have the fifth. The land of the priest's land did not become Pharaoh's. As Israel settled in the land of Egypt and the land of Goshen, and they gained possessions in it, and the fruitful multiplied greatly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the days of Pharaoh the years of life 147 years. And the time drew near, for that Israel must die. He called his son Joseph and said to him, Now I have found favor in your son. Your hand under my thigh, and I must do kindly and surely with me. Do not bury me in Egypt, for let me lie with my fathers. Carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burying place. And so I will do as you say. And he said, Swear to me. And he swore to him. And Israel bowed himself upon the head of his bed. After this, Joseph was told, Behold, your father is ill. So he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, and was told to Jacob, Your son Joseph has come to you. And Israel summoned his strength and sat up in bed. And Jacob said to Joseph, What Almighty appeared to me at last in the land of Canaan and blessed me. And he said to me, Behold, I will make you fruitful and multiply you. And I will make of you a company of people, so I will give this land to your offspring after you, for an everlasting blessing. And now your 2 sons who were born to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt are mine. Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine, as Reuben and Simeon are. The children that you fathered after them shall be yours. You shall be called by the name of their brothers and their inheritance. As for me, when I came from Padan to my son Rachel died in the land of Canaan on the way, and there was still some distance to go to Ephrath. And I buried her there on the way to Ephrath. And Israel saw Joseph's son. He said, Who are these? Joseph said to his father, Here, my sons, whom God has given me here. And he said, Bring them to me in place, that I may bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim with age, so that he could not see. So Joseph brought them near him, and he kissed them and embraced them. Israel said to Joseph, I never expected to see your face, and behold, those let me see your offspring. And Joseph moved them from his knees. He bowed himself with his face to the earth, and Joseph took them both, Ephraim's right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh's left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid on the head of Ephraim, who was the younger, and left hand on the head of Manasseh, crossing his hands. And he blessed Joseph and said, The God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, God has been my shepherd all my life. Long to this day, the angel has redeemed me from all evil. Bless the boys. And in them let my name be carried on, and then my father Abraham and Isaac. I can grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And Joseph saw this father, and laid his right hand on the head of Ephraim. It displeased him, and he took his father's hand to move from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. And Joseph said to his father, Not this way, my father, since this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. His father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. Yosef shall become a people. Yosef shall be great, nevertheless the younger brother shall be greater than he. And his offspring shall become a multitude of nations. He blessed him that day, saying, You Israel will pronounce blessing, saying, Go and make you as Ephraim and Manasseh. And he put Ephraim as before Manasseh. Israel said to Joseph, Behold, I am about to die. And God will be with you and bring you again to the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to you rather. And then your 2 brothers will come and I took from their hand and I took my sword with my bow. And Jacob called his sons and said, Get yourselves together. And I will tell you what happened to you, what shall happen to you in days to come. And assemble and listen, his sons of Jacob, listen to Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my mine, and the first fruits of my strength. The eminent in dignity and preeminent power. And step as well, you shall not have preeminence. If you went up to your father's bed, so then you went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brothers, so the weapons of violence are their sword. And my son will come not into the council of my brother, be not joined to the company, for in their anger they kill men. In their wonders they hammer shall oxen, curse me their anger for his fierce, and their wrath for his cruel. I'll divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. Your brother shall praise you, your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies, your father's son shall bow down before you. Judah is lions cut over from the prey, my son, you have gone. He stooped down, he crashed his lioness. 2 days rise, and the scepter shall not depart from Judah, and nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until his tribute comes to him. And to him shall be the obedience of the people, finding his sword to the vine, and his donkey is called to the choice vine. He has washed his garments in wine, his vesture in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, his teeth whiter than milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the shore of the sea, and he shall become a haven for ships, and his border shall be exceeded. And Isaac is a strong donkey crouching between the sheepfolds. He saw the resting place was good, and the land was pleasant. So he bowed his shoulder to Ben, Pierce, Seven, and Forsley. Dan shall judge his people, and it was one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be set with pit in the way, and fire by the path that bites the horse's heels. His rider falls back, and wait for his salvation in the Lord. Raiders shall raid God, he shall raid their heels. Ashes shall be rich. He shall yield royal delicacies. And after his dough let loose that bears beautiful forms. Joseph is a beautiful, fruitful bough by a spring. And his branches run over the wall, the archers bitterly attacked him. Shalom, and I asked him severely, his bow remained unmoved. unmoved, and is also made agile by the hands of mighty one of Jacob. By the God of your father will help you. By the Almighty will bless you. The blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that crouches beneath, blessings from the breast and of the womb, blessings of your father. Almighty beyond the blessings of my parents, up to the bounties of the everlasting hills. Nay, they be on the head of Jeshua, and on the brow of him who is set apart from his brothers. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf, in the morning devouring the prey, in the evening dividing snow. These are the 12 tribes of Israel. This is what their father said to him as he blessed them, blessing each with a blessing suitable to him. He commanded them and said to them, I am to be good to my king. Remove my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephraim the hill, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah on the eastern mountain of the land of Canaan. But Abraham brought with the field from Ephraim the Hittite to possess the burying place. And there they buried Abraham and Sarah's wife. And there they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah in the field and the cave that is in were brought from the Hittites. And Jacob finished commanding his sons. He drove his feet into them and breathed his last on his God to the people. And Joseph fell on his father's face and went up to her and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his sons and physicians and embalmed his father. So the physicians embalmed his 40 days were required for that is how many are required for embalming. The Egyptians wept for him 70 days, and the days of weeping for him were past. Just speak to the household of Pharisee. If now I have found favor in your eyes, please speak to me as a Pharisee. My father made me swear, saying, I am about to die. In my tomb I hid for myself and then a king. Yea, shall you bury me? No, therefore let me please go up and bury my father. And I will return and bury him, and go up and bury your father. And afraid as he made you swear. And Joseph went out to bury his father. With him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, and the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt. There was also the house of Joseph's brothers and his father's house, and their children, their flocks, and their herds were left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with them both chariots and horsemen. It was a very great company. It came to the threshing floor of Atah, which is beyond the Jordan. They lamented there with a great and grievous lamentation. He made a mourning for his father 7 days. The inhabitants of the land came back, saw them in mourning on the threshing floor of Atah. He said, This is the least mourning by the Egyptians, therefore the place is called named Abel Mizraim. It is beyond the Jordan. Thus his sons did for him as he commanded. His sons carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, the eastern mountain, which Abraham brought with him from Ephraim the Hittite to possess the burying place. After he buried his father, Joseph returned to Egypt with his brothers and all who had gone up with him to bury his father. And Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead. He said, It may be that Joseph will hear us and pay us back for what we did to him. So he sent a message to Joseph, saying, Your father gave this command before we die. Hey to Joseph, who should forgive the transgression of the advice of man? And they said, They did evil to you, and now please forgive the transgression of the servants of God. Of God, your honor for your father. Joseph wept when they spoke to him, and his brothers also came and fell down before him. And said, Behold, we are his sons. And Joseph said to him, Do not fear, for I am in the place to go. I see you meant evil against me, but God meant it to forgive, to bring about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. They do not fear, I'll provide for you and the ones as he comforted them and speak kindly to you. And Joseph remained in Egypt. He and his father's house. Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation, children that is of Machir, son of Manasseh, that comes Joseph said. And Joseph said to his brothers, I am about to die, but go with his new and bring you up out of the land to the land. And he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And Joseph made the sons of Israel swear, and saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry my place with me. So Joseph died being 110 years old. They embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. Exodus 1-4. And these are the names of the sons of Israel came with to earth Jacob, each with his household: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Isaac, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. All the descendants of Jacob were 70 persons. Joseph was already in Egypt, and Joseph died, and all his brothers and all that generation of the people was overflowed when he increased greatly. He multiplied and grew exceedingly strong, so that the land was filled with them. And there arose a new king of Egypt, who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, Behold, the people of Israel are too many, and too mighty for us. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply, and if war breaks out, they join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land. And therefore they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with heavy burdens. They built for fair store cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied, and the more they spread abroad. And the Egyptians were in dread of the people of Israel, so they ruthlessly made the Hebrews their work slaves, and made their lives bitter with hard service and water, and breaking all kinds of work in the field. In all their work they ruthlessly made them work as slaves. And the king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, one of whom was named Shepha, and the other Pull. When you serve as a midwife to the Hebrew, you see them on the birth stool. If it is and you shall kill her. If it is good, he shall live. If the midwives forbid God and do not do as the king of Egypt commanded, and let the male children live. And the king of Egypt called the midwives and said to him, Why have you done this? Let the male children live. The midwife said to Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew are not like the Egyptian woman. They are vigorous and give birth before the midwife comes to. So God dealt well with the midwives, and people were multiplying and grew very strong. Because the midwives feared God and gave them families, and Pharaoh commanded all the people, Every son that is born to the Hebrew shall cast into snow. You shall let every daughter live. Now men of the house of Eli went and took his wife as a Levite woman. The woman conceived a boy son, and she saw that he was a fine child. She hid him 3 months, so she could hide him no longer. He took from a basket made of bulrushes and daubed it with bitumen and pitch. He put the child in it and placed it among the reeds by the river bank. And his sister stood at a distance to know what would be done to him. And her daughter Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river. When the young woman walked beside the river, she saw the basket among the berries, and suddenly said, when she took it and she opened it, she saw the child. Behold, the baby was crying. She took pity on him and said, this is one of the Hebrews' children. And his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call your nurse and the Hebrew woman to nurse the child for you? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. So the girl went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, take the child away and nurse him for me. I'll give you your wages. So the woman took the child and nursed him. And the child grew older, she grew up. And then to Pharaoh's daughter, she became his son. He named him Moses because she said, I drew him out of the water. One day when Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and left on their bones. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew. One of his people, he looked this way and that, seeing no one, he struck down the Egyptian, him in the sand. And he went out the next day, behold, 2 Hebrews struggling together. And he said to the man in the wrong, why do you strike your companion? He answered, who made you a prince and judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian? And Moses was afraid and said, thought, surely the thing is known. When Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and stayed in the land of Midian. He sat down by a well. Now a priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water. And drew water and filled the troughs with water to their water their father's flock. The shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood and saved them and watered their flock. And they came home to their father Reuel. He said, how is it you have come home so soon? And he said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and even drew water for us and watered their flock. He said to his daughter, and where is he? Why have you left the man called? He made you bread. Moses was content to dwell with the man. He gave Moses his daughters a poor. She gave birth to a son, and he called his name Gershon, of which he said, I have been a sojourner in a foreign land. During those many days, the king of Egypt died, and he put Israel groaned because their slave and cried for help. And cried for rescue from slavery came up to God. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God saw the people of Israel, and God knew. And Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, and a priest of Midian, and he led his flock to the west end of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. The angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame, and the flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. He looked, and behold, the bush was burning, yet it was not consumed. And Moses said, I will turn aside to see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. And the Lord saw that he turned aside to see. God called him out of the bush, Moses, Moses, and he said, here I am. And he said, do not come near, take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. And he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, he was afraid to look at God. And Moses, the Lord's actually seen the affliction of my people in Egypt, and they cried because of the taskmaster and their sufferings. And come down to deliver them out of the land of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land to a good and broad land, land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and Jebusites. And now behold, the cry of the people of Israel when it has come to me. I have first seen the oppression of the place of the Egyptians oppress them. Come, I will send you to Pharaoh that you may bring my people, the children of Israel out of Egypt. And Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? He said, but I will be with you, and this shall be the sign for you. I send you, when you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain. And Moses said to God, if I came to the people of Israel, I said, go to your father, sent me to you, and they asked me, what is his name? And shall I say to God said to Moses, I am who I am. He said, say this to the people of Israel. I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, say this to the people of Israel, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever. And thus I am to remember throughout all generations, go and give the elders of Israel together and say to the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and Jacob has appeared to me, saying, I observed you and what has been done to you in Egypt. And I promise that I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt to the land of Canaanites. Yes, Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, the land flowing with milk and honey. And they will listen to your voice, and you and the elders of Israel shall go to King Egypt and say, the Lord, the God of Hebrews, has met with us. And please, let us go a day's journey from into the wilderness. They may sacrifice to the Lord of God. But I know that the King Egypt will not let you go unless compelled by one hand. So I stretch out my hand to strike Egypt with all the wonders that I will do. And now doing it, after he will let you go, I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. When you go, you shall not go empty. Each woman shall ask her neighbor. And any woman who lives in the house and still in God driven and for clothing shall put them in your sons and on your daughters. They shall plunder the Egyptians. And Moses answered, behold, they will not believe or listen to my voice. I said, the Lord did not appear to you. The Lord said to him, what is that in your hand? He said, a staff. He said, throw it on the ground. So he threw it on the ground. It became a serpent, and Moses ran from it. The Lord said to Moses, "Put your hand and catch it by its staff." So he put out his hand and caught it, and became a staff in his hand. And he believed the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has appeared to you. Again the Lord said to him, "Put your hand inside your cloak." And he put his hand inside his cloak. He took it out. Behold, the hand was leprous like snow. And God said, "Put your hands back inside your cloak." So he put his hand back inside the cloak, and he took it out. Behold, it was restored like the rest of his flesh. If they will not believe you, God said, listen to your first son. They may believe the latter son. If they will not believe you, when these two sons listen to your voice, you shall take some water from the Nile, put on the dragon. And what you shall take from the Nile will become blood on the dragon. And he said to the Lord, "O my Lord, I am not eloquent, even the apostle, since you have spoken to your servant. And I am slow of speech and of tongue." And the Lord said to him, "Whose word has made the man's mouth? Who has made him mute or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Therefore go, and I'll be with your mouth and teach you what you shall speak." And he said, "O my Lord, please send someone else." And the name of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he said, Is there not Aaron your brother? And Levi, I know that he can speak well. Behold, he is coming up to meet you. He sees you, he'll be glad in his heart. Shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth. I will be with your mouth, and with his mouth I will teach you both what to do. And he shall speak for you to the people. He shall be with your mouth. And you shall be as God to take in your hand the staff with which you shall do the sign. Moses went back to Jethro his father and said to him, Please let me go back to my brothers and Egypt to see whether they are still alive. And Jethro said to Moses, Go in peace. And the Lord said to Moses, Go back to Egypt, for all the men who are seeking you. And your life are dead. So Moses took his wife and his sons, and had them mount on donkey, and went back to the land of Egypt. Moses took the staff of God in his hand, and the Lord said to Moses, When you go back to Egypt, see that you go do before Pharaoh all the miracles that I have put in your power, but I will harden his heart, so he will not let the people go. And you shall say to Pharaoh, Thus says the Lord, Israel is my firstborn son. I'll say to you, Let my son go, that he may serve me. If you refuse to let him go, behold, I'll give you firstborn son. And the Lord pressed on the way of the Lord met him, and sought to put him to death. And then Zipporah took a flint and cut off his son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it, and said, Surely you are bridegroom and blood to me, so you let him alone. And it was then that she said, Bridegroom and blood, because of the circumcision. The Lord said to Aaron, Go into the woods to meet Moses. So he went and met him at the mountain, and God and kissed him. And Moses told Aaron all the words with which he sent him to speak, and all the signs he commanded him to do. And Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the people of Israel. And they spake all the words that the Lord spake to Moses, and did all the signs and the sign of the people. And the people believed. When they heard the Lord of Israel, the people of Israel, and he seen their affliction, they bowed their heads and worshipped. Proverbs 24. Be not envious of men, or desire to be with them, for the house divides friends, so there is talk of trouble, by whom has to fail by understanding to live. Is established. So I know the rooms are filled with all fashion and pleasant riches. The wise man's full of strength, and man knowledge in his mind. Wise words guidance, you can wage a word. Abundance of counsel is virtue. Wisdom is too high for a fool. In the gate he does not open his mouth, but whoever plans to do evil will be called a schemer. Device can follow his sin. The scoff is abomination to mankind. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Hasten those who have been taken away to death. Hold back those who stumble into the slaughter. If you say, Behold, we do not know this. Does not he wave the harp perceive it? Does not he who keeps watch over his soul know? Will you not repay man according to the word of my son? Ye honey for his gain. The judges of the hand carries sweet taste. And if there isn't such to yourself, if you find it, there will be a future. If your hope will not be cut off. I know the ways of wicked men against his dwelling, the righteous do not violence to his head. The righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked sometimes in calamity. You only rejoice when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad when he stumbles. As the Lord see and be displeased, and turn his ways anger from him. Bear not yourself because evil doers, be not envious of the wicked, for the evil man has no future. The land of the wicked will be put out. My son, fear the Lord, and the king. And do joy with those who do it otherwise. He does not store away something from them. He knows the ruin that will come from them both. He just sustains to the wise, while showing and judging is not good. Whoever says to the wicked, You are in the right, will be cast away, was abhorred by nations. And as you be good, the wicked will have to lie. A good person will come upon them, whoever gives an honest answer kisses the lips. You work outside, get everything ready for yourself in the field after that build your house. You know a witness against you without cause, and do not deceive with your lips. And say, I'll do things as is done to me, I'll pay the man back 4 years still. They passed by the field of a slaughter, by the vineyard of a man, like he said. Behold, it was all overgrown with thorns, the ground was covered with nails. And a stone was broken down, and no one could see it. And I looked and received instruction, those slew, those from the Lord from your hands, twice, and probably will come upon you like a robber, and one like an armed man. Psalm 60. God, you rejected us, breaking out defenses, you've been angry, restore us, you made the land quake. To quake, you torn open, repair breach for toilets, you made people see hard things, you've given us one, you've made stack. You throw a ban for those who fear you, that they may flee to it from the bow. You beloved ones may be delivered, give salvation by your hand and answers. God speaking in his holiness, because the exhortation divided the shekel and portion out the veil of succor. Gilead is my master's man, Ephraim my helmet, Judah is my scepter, and Moab is my wash basin. One Edom my cast my shoe, every Philistine shout and triumph. Will bring me to your fall if I see you who lead me to Edom. Have you not rejected us, O God? Will you not go forth, I'll go with our armies. You grant us help against the foe. The vain salvation of man. God we shall do valiantly, and it is he who will tread down the foes. Now establish the the Lord's prayer, every prayer hands, Father, now, hallowed be your name, kingdom come, your will done, as it is in heaven. It is our daily bread, forgive us debts, forgive our debtors. It is not temptation, us evil one, fears, king, and power, the glory of all. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.